Do you remember Pastor Khoury? He was a Palestinian Christian, and he was a guy. He was a Muslim, and he wanted to check out the Christian church, and he would walk through the killing zone, climb over fences, and he would try to get from the Palestinian quarter to the Christian quarter to be able to go to church. And he was almost killed every Sunday. And he would go to church. I'll never forget meeting this guy. Such a remarkable hero. We had somebody that was a Muslim that was making quite a stand and standing for Israel and the Jews. Well, that guy had to back out at the last minute because, like I said, we had 4 suicide vests out on that event, Restoring Courage, when we were in Jerusalem. We had multiple threats. Our orchestra walked 2 days before because they were told, if you participate in this event, you will never, ever work again. One of the guys who sang part of the songs that we did, I don't know if I've even told these stories before, his life was in danger. He was told, if you utter a single word, we will kill you. It was a tense operation. And that's what it was. It wasn't a show. It wasn't a rally. It was an operation. And there we were standing at the bottom of the mosque. First Christians to ever be allowed to speak there since the Romans. No Christians have ever been allowed to speak there. We're at the bottom of the Temple Mount, at the stairs and the steps of the Temple Mount, and we're delivering a message of peace and love, but one of boldness. The Lord will not be mocked, and this is true. And standing in the place of the Muslim man, the cleric who was going to have his family killed if he showed up, Pastor Khoury stood up, the guy who used to crawl over the fences and crawl through the killing zones just to go to church. He had become a pastor. And he gave an amazing speech. Just got this note, dear Glenn. Want to let you know that Pastor Khoury's church in East Jerusalem was attacked Sunday afternoon. East Jerusalem, Pat, is that where we were? Remember when we were all so afraid? It was East Jerusalem, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, the Palestinian area.
Yeah, we were in East Jerusalem. We should find some of these pictures and put them up. We were in East Jerusalem, and they were giving a cocktail hour with me. And these people wanted to thank me for support of Israel, and they were living, and they lived on this floor. It was probably, 10 floors up, 6 floors up, something like that? Yeah, maybe 6. And the people found out, the Palestinians in the area found out that we were up there, and they literally went crazy.
They were throwing chairs at us.
They were
trying to get them
they were trying to
up
throw,
as high as we were.
Yeah, they were throwing chairs at the building, trying to throw anything they could up at us at the building.
And the people whose house it was had this sort of balcony so they could see us, and they were trying to throw things at us.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So that's where this guy is. I mean, this is a place where if you are a Christian or a Jew and you call the police, they're not coming. They're just not coming. And then when they do show up a day later, they're like, oh, some Christians were killed, huh? Well, we tried to get here, but we had other things going on. So he has his church in that neighborhood. He got a note at 1 o'clock in the morning. After Restoring Courage, his congregation was threatened with vandalism and threatened. And well, this week, early Monday morning in Jerusalem, he got word that his church in East Jerusalem, one of the fastest growing churches in Jerusalem, was attacked on Sunday afternoon. They burned the entrance and the trees and the playground area. Meanwhile, all of the residents, none of them said anything. Nobody did anything. They couldn't call the police because that would have only made it worse. And the Israeli firefighters had to come in and put it out. Let me just remind you of this. The Israeli firefighters, because the Muslim firefighters would not, the Palestinian firefighters stood and watched. The Israeli firefighters came to put the church out. The landlord, continuing this letter, is a moderate Muslim, and he's being pressured and threatened by the community not to house this church. The future of their church is at risk because they are threatened to the point where the congregation can no longer meet. They will be homeless in the next 30 to 60 days because no one is willing to rent to the Christians. Again, the backstory on Pastor Khoury, Palestinian Christian. 15 years ago, he was beaten up with metal chains and sticks by the families of young men he was trying to mentor as a Christian. It's horrifying what is going on, and no one really wants to talk about it. What they do want to talk about, at least the people in power, is how great and how much you can trust Al Jazeera.